Relax Babe is dedicated to making CBD wellness easy, delightful, and routine by harnessing the power of full-spectrum CBD into pre-dosed, delicious, third-party tested gummies. Formulated by a team of organic food experts in California, Relax Babe CBD gummies contain only 6 simple ingredients, including the highest quality Colorado-farmed sativa indica blend hemp to specifically address stress, sleeplessness, pain, and inflammation morning or night. Use coupon code FindingGenius for a 20% discount at checkout. Visit shoprelaxbabe.com to shop now.
Forget frequently asked questions.
Common sense, common knowledge, or Google.
How about advice from a real genius? 95% of people in any profession are good enough to be qualified and licensed. 5%
go above and beyond.
They become very good at what they do, but only
0.1%
are real geniuses. Richard Jacobs has made it his life's mission to find them for you. He hunts down and interviews geniuses in every field: sleep science, cancer, stem cells, ketogenic diets, and more. Here come the geniuses. This is the Finding Genius Podcast
with Richard Jacobs.
Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with the Finding Genius Podcast, now part of the Finding Genius Foundation. I have Nicole Monteleone. She's the co-founder and COO of Counseling and Wellness Center of Pittsburgh. I'm going to talk about her work there. So, Nicole, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, if you would, tell me a bit about your background. How did you end up in counseling and wellness? And then I want to talk about your center and what it does.
Yeah, so I'm a licensed professional counselor in Pennsylvania, and that was sort of my segue into private practice. I've worked in community mental health settings, hospitals, rehab centers, things like that, and was really drawn to more holistic and whole body wellness and treatment, and drove me to connect with a colleague who had a very similar approach to wellness, and together her and I founded the Counseling and Wellness Center.
Okay, so what's the premise of your center? What do you guys do there?
We provide counseling and wellness related services such as nutrition counseling, meditation, mindfulness coaching, as well as talk therapy to individuals, couples, and families.
All right. So what kind of conditions present themselves to you pretty often?
We treat a lot of depression and anxiety. A lot of marriage and family counseling is a big part of what we do, especially through the last few years. We've definitely seen a change in a lot of family dynamics. A lot of families have been home together, homeschooling, and that has shifted the way that families interact. And so we've definitely seen a lot of couples and families lately, a lot of stress management, mindfulness, coaching, and just sort of helping to deal with that work-life balance, and as well as really focusing on a lot of self-care for people lately.
Okay. What are some of the issues that have been coming up the past few years? How has the whole virus situation affected families and people in your instance?
Yeah, I mean, people's stress levels have increased. A lot of families we're away from the home throughout the day, and now parents or spouses are working from home. They may have children that are home doing online learning. Parents have had to shift from dropping kids off at daycare or school to now trying to do their job, as well as trying to help kids with school and making sure they're connected or they're doing what they're supposed to. And it adds a lot of extra stress to families. They have changes in their routines, changes in the way that activities that people used to go to have been canceled or changed. And it really causes people to focus a lot more on the differences and the things that maybe they feel like they've lost or they have lost, instead of focusing on the other, more positive aspects of their lives. And so it really has brought up a lot of communication issues, a lot of parenting issues, work issues. People have a harder time finding balance between work and their personal life when there's not a separation. It's easy to jump back on work or not set firm boundaries around that. And all of that increases the stress among families.
So what are some of the therapies or the modalities you guys are using to help people?
Yeah, we do. A lot of our clinicians do a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy. That's a lot of thought reframing and restructuring that. People also do a lot of, as far as couples go, a lot of our couples counseling do a lot of Gottman approaches, as well as family systems theory. Those are two different family modalities.
What does that mean? What are those two? What do they mean?
So family systems theory focuses a lot on the ways that families interact, the formative functions of families, the way that different pieces of the family interact. Gottman is specifically developed by John and Julie Gottman. It's not an approach actually that I practice or have a lot of experience with myself. I'm not a couples clinician, so it's not something that I do, but it is what our, as I mentioned, our marriage and family therapists, a lot of them are certified in that, and it's a modality that a lot of them utilize.
Okay, so what have you seen are some of the effective modalities or ways to help people, especially recently? Has it changed what you need to do, and is the efficacy gone up or down? What do you observe?
I don't think that there really has been any change in the efficacy, but we have seen more people reach out for support and for services. Reaching out for therapy is not as taboo as it used to be. A lot of more people are more willing to talk about their mental health needs. They're more willing to acknowledge that they need help or that they're seeking help. So we've definitely seen an increase overall in people who are coming to therapy, but I think that overall the efficacies have maintained where they're at, if maybe not even increased, just because more people are accessing the resources than really ever before.
What's next for your center then? You're helping people. Do you have to grow, or more and more people coming to you, or what's the near-term future of your work look like?
Yeah, we've been fortunate to continue growing through the pandemic. The more folks that we can serve, the better for our community. So that's always a primary goal for us. We opened a center during the pandemic as well as expanded an existing one. But we've been able to bring on more therapists as well as more support staff, administrators, billers, receptionists, things like that. So our primary focus as a center is always to really ingrain ourselves in the community and really build lasting relationships with the people that we serve as well as the communities that we're a part of. So we offer throughout the year lots of different workshops. Some of them are free events, some of them are paid events. We do yoga in the park every summer throughout the summer. We also offer meditations and mindfulness walks throughout the summer. So those are things that we'll continue to do and continue to grow into those neighborhoods. We definitely have the importance of relationships that we have in the community and continuing to grow those.
Relax Babe gummies are vegan, organic, all natural, and infused with CO2 extracted hemp to provide the purest, best tasting, highest quality CBD to support and aid your body's endocannabinoid system. Try their variety pack today and make everyday wellness within reach. They're offering our listeners a generous 20% off their first purchase. You can use coupon code FINDINGGENIUS, no spaces in it, FINDINGGENIUS, at checkout to save 20% site-wide. Just visit shoprelaxbabe.com. What do those look like? What do you mean relationships? Do you have relationships with other centers to help people or churches, or what kind of relationships?
We coordinate with lots of different folks locally. We do coordinate with some physicians. We also recently formalized a relationship with one of our trade centers in the area to assist their students with anything that they need while they're in school, whether that is stress management resources, helping to deal with the changes in their life. Like that transition can be hard to suddenly go back to school, especially as an adult or a young adult. So we are doing that. We've also worked with local parks to offer, like I said, those meditations, yoga. That's all coordinated with our park centers as well as our local chambers of commerce. We've previously worked with other providers to provide different types of services. We were providing equine therapy for a little while. That's not something we're currently doing anymore. But so really, just focusing on the ways that we can be a part of the community and really provide services to a broader range of people through the services that we offer, as well as providing workshops, educational opportunities, wellness centers, wellness fairs. We're really hoping that those start to come back this year. It hasn't been something that people have been hosting lately, but it's something that we really enjoy participating in.
What does that mean? What is a wellness fair? What happens there?
A wellness fair can include lots of different things. It can be Sometimes they're hosted by medical providers. We're going to participate in one later this year that's run by a nonprofit yoga organization where they're going to provide yoga throughout the day. We're going to be there with resources for us, as well as talk about some of the benefits of therapy and yoga. So that's one example. We've also participated in them with our local community colleges, as well as businesses in our area. There's a light service electricity supplier in our area that we participated in their wellness fairs for their employees. So any opportunity that we get, and we usually bring information about our center, as well as sometimes plan an activity, whether that's a meditation or a small yoga sequence or something like that people can participate in with us.
Do you deal with any psychiatric care, any medications, or is that not a part of the center?
It's not a part of the center currently, although we do hope to bring that on in the future. We do work closely with prescribers who are seeing our folks, but we don't prescribe anything in-house right now.
Do you see the need for any additional modalities in today's day and age, or do you have plenty in your palette that you can use to help people?
Yeah, I think that's one of the really remarkable things about the work that we do, because there are so many different modalities, so many different approaches, and it provides practitioners as well as individuals lots of different opportunities to figure out what works well for them and what they like. Some people like a very direct counseling approach, and they want to be, they like a lot of structure, and they want worksheets, or they want activities, and other people want to focus more on talking about how they're feeling and, processing feelings and emotions and doing that development. So there's so many types of modalities. There's new things coming out and changes being made in the field constantly. And I think the way that we continue to engage in those and use them is really important in the way that we develop as practitioners and as a field. So I think there's always room for new ideas and new treatment protocols, but I also know that some of these things have been around for decades, and they work, and people use them because of the response that people have to them. So it's an ever-changing and evolving field, and I've seen people have incredible strides in growth using these modalities. So I think that where we're at now is better than it ever has been, because so many people are willingly seeking services, and that really helps to move the field forward too.
Okay, well, very good. What's the best way for people to get in touch to find out more about your center and all the programs that are there? Where can they go?
Yeah, they can go to our website. It's www.counselingwellnesspgh.com, or they can reach out via phone, 412-322-2129. And one of our member of our reception team would be happy to discuss getting someone set up with an appointment.
Well, very good. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Have a great day.
Remember, before you go, adding Relax Babe gummies to your daily routine is an amazing way to support your everyday wellness. Get your CBD products from a company who's passionate about making CBD wellness simple, delicious, and routine, so you don't have to worry about anything. Relax Babe is giving our listeners 20% off their first purchase. Use coupon code FINDINGGENIUS with no space, FINDINGGENIUS, at checkout, and you'll save 20% site-wide. Visit shoprelaxbabe.com.
You've been listening to the Finding Genius podcast with Richard Jacobs. If you like what you hear, be sure to review and subscribe to the Finding Genius podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And want to be smarter than everybody else? Become a premium member at findinggeniuspodcast.com. This podcast is for information only. No advice of any kind is being given. Any action you take or don't take as a result of listening is your sole responsibility. Consult professionals when advice is needed.